All right, we are recording. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. You are in for a real treat. We have one of the longest, most well-known diamonds in the company. Corporate has had her at a whole mix of things. She spoke at convention, of corporate events all around the nation, and she's just amazing. She has an amazing story. I'm going to let you share your story, Sarah, but if I recall correctly, you joined in 2008, I believe, and it was just the breast check kit. There was no other products, you guys, just the breast check kit, and I believe she sold all that she could and then quit. Yep. And she came back, I think it was 2010, you can correct me if I'm wrong, rejoined the company, after obviously it was more than just the breast check kit. It took you 7 months to go silver.
Correct.
And I mean, that's crazy amazing. So anyway, I'm going to open it up to you. I'm just absolutely thrilled and honored that you are taking the time to come share with us. And we'd love to just hear like a little bit of your story because it's so inspiring.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely honored to be here. So my second Plexus anniversary is I've been in the company 7 years. So you're right. You had that backstory absolutely correct. So I am a registered nurse, and I had heard about the breast check kit through a friend at church. And so she just said, let's do this. And I said, okay, awesome. So for about a year in 2008, I did moms groups and different women's groups where I would get, in front of them and show them the statistics about breast cancer and then talk about early detection and sell the breast check kit. Well, the thing about the breast check kit is it's non-consumable. So once everybody in my town had the breast check kit, that was it. My husband was like, it's not really going anywhere. I was like, yeah, I don't know what else to do. So I did kind of bow out gracefully. A little kind of interesting note is the gal that I had joined under in 2008, her sponsor, who had been a stranger, she had just seen a car magnet in a parking lot. Her sponsor messaged both of us and said, Plexus Slim just launched. We've got a new CEO. We're called Plexus Worldwide now. Let's do this again. My former sponsor said, no, thank you. So she did not come back. So I joined under a total stranger in 2010, and that's been over 7 years ago now. So it's been an absolutely amazing journey. I will kind of give you the
stories you could tell. I just have to say, like, my gosh, it would be fun just to have like a training on that back in the day, like old school dinosaur age of Plexus, right?
Yes. So yeah, not really much of a back office. So just here a little asterisk. This is my fourth back office that we have currently, and I'm still here. So we can make it through anything. But yes, we didn't have brochures. We didn't have anything. We made up our own. The extent of my training was drink pink, lose weight, tell a friend. That was it. I was pretty much the extent of it. So when I actually joined, I had two boys at the time, and the Plexus Slim did pique my curiosity. So I joined to get my Slim at the cheapest price. I had no idea. I had just joined a network marketing company. I did not know what network marketing was. I had never heard of it before. I knew about, the Mary Kay ladies and stuff like that, but it didn't really dawn on me what it was. Previously with the breast check kit, it was just hard to sell I never really even considered it network marketing. It was more, direct sales type with the non-consumable product. So I kind of floundered. I loved drinking my pink drink. I felt great. I started losing weight. The girls at work started to notice, because when you work 12-hour night shifts and you're energized and feeling great and your scrubs are getting loose, everybody wants to know what you're doing. So I did have a few people order from my website, had a commission check show up, and I was like, maybe there is something to this. So I started to kind of be more aware, but I remember them talking about the first ever convention that was coming up. It was going to be in June of 2011. And I was like, I think I would like to go to that. And I heard that silver was a thing. So I signed up my mom, who was the very first person to join me, just because she's my mom and we're best friends. And I told her she had to do it with me. She said, I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't need the money. I'm good. But because you're my daughter, I'll join. So that was kind of her thing. And then I signed up my husband without him knowing. I wouldn't recommend that, but it did work out well in our scenario. And then right before convention, I remember telling my sponsor, I just really want to be silver, because it had been 7 months since I had joined. And she had a cold lead that she was chatting with, and she said, here, why don't you just sign her up? So that's how I went silver. My mom, my husband without him knowing, and then just a cold lead that my sponsor felt sorry for me and just let her enroll, and she only stayed around 1 month. But I went to that first ever convention as a brand new silver ambassador, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. I sat in the second row on the left-hand side, and I will never forget the light bulb moment at convention, realizing this is something I want to be a part of. This is something that's changing lives, and I'm going to do this. I literally was sitting in that seat, and I made a decision right there at that convention, less than 300 people in the room, but I knew that we were going to be going someplace. So I came home, my mom and I locked arms. We started our first ever Monday night meeting the very next Monday after convention. And 9 months later, we were driving our Lexuses as Emerald ambassadors. So 7 months to silver, and then from silver to Emerald was 9 months. And I really have to share with you guys, in that place, passion trumped everything. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was passionate about helping people, about changing lives, about earning extra income. We found out we were pregnant with surprise baby number 3. So I started thinking about, I've always just wanted to be a mom, and I'm looking at Kristen snuggling her sweet baby over there. I just wanted to be home, 12-hour night shifts. Although I loved being a labor and delivery nurse, my heart really just wanted to be home 100% with my kids. So I was able to retire from my job. I actually set a goal to go Emerald by the time I delivered my 3rd baby. I went Emerald March 1st, and he was delivered on March 13th. So I had it charted to the day where I was able to go Emerald and then stay home completely. And that was such a huge blessing. I don't know, Autumn, if you want me to go through my whole journey, I can. I kind of have it, canned, and then we can stop if you have questions or anything like that. And I do have some tips, but a lot of people might say silver to Emerald in 9 months. Wow, crazy. It was momentum. It was great. We were launching some new products. So we came out with the accelerator and then with the ProBio 5. And so we were just going. And my mom signed her hairdresser, who was a pastor's wife. So I have to thank Denise. She was the one that propelled us to Emerald. So it was just a lot of people telling the people that they knew in their networks in our Monday night meetings. The first meeting was terrible and tragic. There were 5 people there. I hid behind note cards. I couldn't hardly form a sentence. I was so nervous. And we told everybody to go home and find a friend and bring a friend back, and they did. And we actually used to go into the parking lot after our Monday night meetings and count our You've Got Money emails, because people would come to the meeting, hear about Plexus, join, and that's how our team kind of got going with that face-to-face, hearing the stories about what the products were doing. When I hit Emerald, I hit a figurative brick wall. The wall was too wide to count, too tall. I mean, I stopped dead in my tracks, and I realized I have no idea what I'm doing. I had hundreds of people looking to me for leadership, asking me questions on how to help them achieve their goals. And I was just like, drink your pink drink and tell a bunch of people. That literally was the extent of my training. So that's kind of where my leadership lid, the ceiling of my growth, stopped at Emerald. And that's when I opened my first ever network marketing book and really started to learn and understand the importance of personal growth and development. So for any of you that have watched any of my videos or just heard through the grapevine, I am a self-proclaimed nerd. But I did not know or understand the power of what could be given to us in so many books. So from Emerald to Sapphire was 16 months, and I read almost 60 books in that 16-month period. When I read the first one, I remember thinking to myself, oh my goodness, this holds the answers to every question I've had up until this point when I was feeling alone and scared and lost and didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh my gosh, somebody knows the answer and they just told me in their book. And so then I'd read another one. Oh my gosh, why didn't anybody tell me about this book? And it was one book after another of just light bulbs going on everywhere. And me being dumbfounded that it took me being an Emerald ambassador before I realized, hello, there's a whole lot of information out there that can help shorten this learning curve. So after Sapphire, it was just another 3 months from Sapphire to Diamond because I finally got it. Like that growth journey, I was willing to slow down and learn what I needed to learn, how to be a good network marketer myself, how to become a leader, how to, just help to grow and build the relationships on the team. So that journey is something that I will always cherish. It was challenging and it was a struggle. We started having people come into the company who were promoting faster. And I was like, wait a second, I've been in the company longer and now they just hit Diamond before I did. And it was a very hard thing for me. But it was a very good lesson and a journey on that. So personal growth and development, I don't care if it's 2 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, an hour a day. For me, I realized that American Idol and Parenthood and The Good Wife and all of my DVR shows were not getting me closer to financial freedom, the freedom that my husband and I were longing for, time freedom. So I made that trade-off to say, even though I'm a busy mom of 3 boys and I deserve that downtime sitting on the couch with a remote control in my hand, I made a commitment to myself that I would turn off the TV and start reading books. So I started reading an hour every night after the kids went to bed, and I honestly haven't turned on the TV since. I do watch Fixer Upper just during the day whenever everything else is done, but no This Is Us, no any of those shows that would get me. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if you can manage your time wisely. Just for me, it was one of those things that I found TV was a time suck for me, and I wanted to invest that time in other places. So I've been a Diamond now for, 4-something years. My second position is Senior Gold. And just keeping on with moving through with that. But it's definitely, an interesting journey. I love that with Plexus, it's as much or as little as you want it to be. So if you just want to get in and get healthy, which is where I wanted to be at first, I struggled with IBS, severe IBS, migraines. I had a whole slew of things that I was dealing with as a labor and delivery nurse working 12-hour night shifts. So health got me in and wanting to get into my skinny jeans. And then my why and my goals grew and changed the longer I was a part of the company.
Love it. All right. So, wow, a Diamond for 4 years. And you retired as a nurse at what point?
During my pregnancy with my third child, when I came home from that convention and I knew I was going to, give it my all. I will tell you, I'm very blessed, and my husband is a nurse anesthetist. So we did have 2 incomes coming into the home. But for anybody that knows, nursing school loans, my husband's nursing school loans, my husband's anesthesia school loans. So I had really felt like I needed to be working to kind of, compensate for all of that debt that we just wanted to try to get on top of. Yeah. So I was able to retire probably a little sooner than somebody else who wouldn't have a spouse that they could rely on that income. But yes, it was a big blessing to be able to stay home then after I delivered Hudson.
I love that. So what business tips do you have for us, like being here so long and being in this industry, and who knows how many books you've read now? We have people, we have silvers and golds and senior golds on, a ruby and an emerald. Just share with us any tips.
So, yep, I've got a few things, and I think the biggest thing is to know that this is a marathon and not a sprint. And everybody will have a different journey. And knowing and understanding that it doesn't matter how fast you go. It doesn't matter how fast people go that are your sidelines and that you see. and I really, and it took a long time for me to be content with knowing and understanding that even if I went slower, even if somebody promoted past me, stopping to remember and realize the lives that were being changed, if I started really focusing on this person who, you know, whose irritable bowel was helped, or this person, like I could take each story, and when I learned to appreciate the journey for the testimonies that they were, and knowing and understanding that somebody's life was truly changed because I had shared either the compensation plan, you know, the business side of things, or the products. That was a very hard thing for me to learn and kind of come to grips with, is that on this marathon, even though some people are going to go past us, if we can just stop and be grateful for each step along the way, knowing that we are touching people's lives and changing people's lives for the better. So that's probably a big one. But then something that I actually covered on my own team call tonight, I wanted to share with you guys, because I think a lot of people here all the time, it's really important to be consistent. You know, we talk about consistently sharing and consistently reaching out and consistently doing your IPAs. And just in full disclosure, I am really good at being consistent at the wrong things. So if I were to pose a question for you guys, it would be, if you're going to evaluate, what are you being consistent at? And I will share with you, just to kind of get your gears turning. Here's a few things that I'm really good at being consistent at. And the first one is procrastinating. I am one of those, I will walk past dishes in the sink 100 times. And it only is going to take me 3 minutes to put them in the dishwasher, but I procrastinate, and it wears on me, and it takes up mental space to think about, I'm going to have to do these dishes and get them in the dishwasher. When if I just got on top of it and did them, I don't know if you guys have read the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. You just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go do those dishes, and then they're over and done with, and you can move on. So consistently procrastinating is not going to be a good thing. It's not going to get you going anywhere. I am really good at being consistent at comparing. Even still, 7 years into this journey, I'm like, well, I wonder what Brooke Hemingway's doing. Oh gosh, well, I wonder what this person is doing. Like, I am really, really good at, you know, just driving myself nuts over, well, what are other leaders doing that maybe I could do better, or I'm not doing it all. So consistently comparing, that's a huge trap, and something that you shouldn't. And then consistently falling into management mode. And that's something that I kind of hesitate to say, because I think there's a difference between management mode and then loving to train. And so I'm yellow. I'm like so yellow, it's not even funny. So I love helping my team so much that I am very good at consistently helping everybody else so much, so that I'm like, well, wait a second, I don't have any new customers this month. Or wait a second, I didn't reach out to 5 new people this month. So if you're going to think about your journey, think about, what am I being consistent at? And some good things to be consistent at are taking your products, getting in a good, consistent routine so that you can have your own testimony. And I would challenge you, get into your own routine, but be consistent at trying your products either at different times to get more optimal results, or adding new products. I would venture to say that I take pretty much everything, and had I not kind of introduced new things, then I wouldn't have known that I absolutely love drinking the Plexus 96 shakes every single day. There's some things that I worked in by consistently loving and taking my products and then adding new ones. Being consistent and intentional with relationships. And I would say that I kind of default to, who am I going to reach out to? Who am I going to follow up with? You know, Plexus, Plexus, Plexus. And I would challenge you, be consistent in loving on your non-Plexus friends, and making sure that relationships across the board, that you're adding value, that you're being positive, that you're just trying to be a good friend overall. Because I kind of, sometimes it's a pendulum with Plexus, and you can kind of get, oh my gosh, well, I got the convention contest and I'm go, 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 go. And I really had to kind of say, I really need to consistently check in with my non-Plexus friends, because I don't want them to think that, you know, I've become all Plexus and don't care about them anymore. So that's a good one. For me, I've just gotten back in the habit of being consistent with my workouts, and I feel so much better about life. I had a back injury and then a wrist injury, and I actually was out of the gym for almost a year, but it was, you know, kind of a well, I'll skip one workout and then I'll, do less at this workout. And before I knew it, I was out the door, and then had actually quit, where I was working out, and didn't go back or have a backup plan. So yesterday was 17 days in a row. I get a little blue dot on my calendar for my new spin bike that I have. And I feel so much better, even if it's only a 20-minute bike ride, doing something consistently. I want to read you a really quick quote. This is one of my all-time favorite books, The 15 Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. It's not network marketing specific, but it applies across the board to pretty much anything. But he says, if you want to gain momentum and improve your motivation, begin by setting goals that are worthwhile but highly achievable. Master the basics. Then practice them every day without fail, because small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great accomplishments gained slowly over time. So an example of that for me would be I gained 100 pounds with Hudson with that pregnancy. So I lost 92 pounds in 11 months using the Plexus products consistently. And when I posted that 92-pound weight loss before and after, my inbox blew up. What did you do? Tell me how you lost the weight. And people wanted that magic pill, that overnight success. And I'm like, well, guys, this has been consistently taking the triplex every day for 11 months, and that they didn't want to hear that. They wanted the 92 pounds before and after, bam. And it's behind closed doors of what are those small things that you are doing consistently over time that will then equal the result. So if you've got a pen and paper and you can write down end result. So for February, what do you want your end result to be? Go Ruby, hit the winner's dinner, get 500 PV. What is that end result? And when you do that backtrack, you'll see that for February, were you reaching out to 3 to 5 new people every day? Were you following up? Because when you get to Tuesday the 27th and realize it's a short month, and that Wednesday the 28th, the month is over, if there haven't been those small consistent steps over the entire month, you're not going to get that end result that you had been hoping for. So that can be applied across the board, with IPA, with activity, with diet, with products, all of those different things. And the last thing I'll say is, I believe the most important. When you join network marketing, you are going to get a big target on you that says people are going to laugh at you. People are going to think you're crazy. All of those, things that go along with network marketing. And you have to be able to counterbalance that. You have to move on this marathon and make it 7 years and longer. Mindset is absolutely essential. So I'm going to share with you, when you have somebody that says one negative thing to you, it takes 8 to 10 positives to just neutralize that. So if you want to tip over to positive, you got to have 11 positive things coming in for every one negative. Now, just to let you know, that husband that I signed up, we're still married. It took over a year for him to not be the enemy. So I was literally sleeping with the enemy. My biggest skeptic and negative person was my husband. And he, we would get in fights before I would go to my Monday night meetings. He didn't understand it. He didn't think I was investing time. And it wasn't until we were driving to pick up my Emerald Lexus that he was like, well, I guess this is going to work out. I giggle every time I say that. And then, of course, I picked up my Diamond Lexus, and then he picked up his Emerald Lexus. So, it all worked out. But to be able to have my mindset be such that I could continue on this marathon, it was the reading books, listening to audios, watching webinars, surrounding myself with the right people. If you don't have the right inner circle of people speaking into your heart and your mind, make sure that you have 3 to 5 people who are going to cheer you on, who are going to be positive, who are going to support you, and who are going to love you no matter what you do. And that was a very hard lesson for me, is knowing that not everybody who had walked this journey with me in life up until this point was going to keep coming with me. Because when you start setting big, scary dreams, it scares some people. And sometimes people don't want to go that road with you. So just evaluate, who am I surrounding myself with? Who am I allowing to speak into my life? And I literally used to drive around, 3 boys in the back of the minivan, listening to audios, keeping my thoughts in my mind focused on, I can do this. network marketing is an amazing profession. I'm in the right place. I'm working towards my goals. And I would do all those affirmations and listening over and over. The kids would fall asleep in the back in their car seats. I would sit in the driveway and listen to those audios over and over and over again. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things overall on this 7-year journey, is realizing it takes worth. Growth isn't accidental. You're not going to accidentally fall into becoming an emerald and a great leader. It takes setting that growth goal and then being able to work towards it.
Oh, I love all that. I love your story. And I love that you talked about, I mean, it really does. It takes discipline. It takes discipline when you're working from home. Yeah. And you have to be consistent every day, like you said. And I think there's kind of a little statistic out there of, your hard work now will pay off in roughly, hopefully on average, the next 90 days. So, and then of course, mindset is key to everything. I mean, you guys, her biggest naysayer was her husband. And so don't let those naysayers bring you down. Let that mindset propel you towards proving them wrong and showing them what you can do and, how you can change your life. Do you have time for like a question or two?
Sure.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Just got about 3 more minutes left. So let's go ahead and unmute yourself. Jessica.
Hey, Sarah. My name's Holly. I missed the beginning, but you were a doctor before, is that right? Before you did Plexus?
Oh, I'm a registered nurse. Yep, and my husband does anesthesia.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I don't necessarily have a question, Sarah. I just want to tell you that this is Teresa, and I'm in Senior Gold, and my husband is a firefighter medic. I'm a nurse as well, and I have the same naysayer as you do. He's my biggest skeptic. He believes in the product. He doesn't believe in the business. And that's been my hardest thing for me.
And so when I was walking that journey out, the only thing that I could allow to do the talking was my paycheck. He didn't care about anything else. So I just said, well, what was my paycheck last month? What is it this month? And it would be, even if it only grew by $20, I was like, well, maybe I can keep doing this. And the other joke we had was, this was just going to be my fun money. And after I hit Emerald, I was like, who's laughing now? I get to go on a $8,000 shopping spree or whatever. So of course I did that. Yeah. So for men, it truly is. If that's their biggest hang up, usually I just say, please hang with me and believe in me, because I'm going to show you that I can do this. And then I would just show him that every single week my paycheck increased, and he couldn't argue. He couldn't argue anymore because he knew that it was working out.
Well, thank you. I needed to hear that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I have a question.
Hello.
Hi. I've watched your videos, by the way, and it's kind of like I'm talking to a celebrity, so this is kind of surreal. Talking about naysayers, my husband's actually the opposite. He's the one that's probably the most that's in my corner and cheering me on through this journey. But my mom, who is always supporting me in everything, is the one that's like, this is ridiculous, you guys. She sees us, I'm a stay-at-home mom now, and she's always seeing us, well, we're living paycheck to paycheck with my husband's income, and I'm slowly starting to get my income going. And she goes, well, that silly Plexus thing, she goes, why don't you just stop and get a real job? And I'm just like, wow, okay. And so hearing you say that, just let that propel me, that's what I have to do, and I have to get in that mindset. So I don't even know how to get into that mindset of proving my mom wrong.
Well, I think that's a really hard one, and here's what I would say about this. And through this journey with my mom, when you're mom and daughter and Plexus ambassadors, there's kind of a different dynamic. But I would say sitting her down, mom to daughter, and just saying, Mom, I need you to hear my heart on why I'm so excited about doing this. And can you just support me as my mom? And she doesn't have to necessarily put her stamp of approval on your Plexus business, but letting her know, mom to daughter, this is what I'm doing, and this is why I'm doing it. And just let her hear your heart on that. And I think even if she's not, you know, your biggest cheerleader, she'll at least quiet down as to saying or not understanding what it is. And give her little opportunities to say, Mom, can I show you what it is that I actually do? Do you know that I have a friend who was struggling with diabetes and now their A1C is down in 60 days and they've halved their insulin? I can't stop doing this because that's the kind of person that I'm helping. And when she starts to put some of those concrete examples to, oh, this is what she's doing. I bet right now she just doesn't know and understand what it is. And she might have that stigma of, oh, she's one of those. But I guarantee you, if you take her to lunch or have a good phone call with her and say, Mom, can I just share with you from my heart? Things will probably shift a little bit for you.
Awesome.
You
Thank
got
you.
this. Keep up the good work.
All right. Any last question? Then we're going to let Sarah go.
I have one quick one. Sarah, could you tell us what you said you would listen to audios all the time? Were those like your own pre-recorded on like the apps of the affirmations? Or when you say you listen to audio like driving in the car, can you tell us what some of your favorite ones were? I know some of your favorite books.
Yes. So I have my very favorite one, and the first one that I listen to on repeat is Sara Robbins' Rock Your Network Marketing Business. And if you don't want to invest, she has the Rockstar Recruiting School, and then the second one, the Masterclass Edition for Leaders. So those 6 CDs, I soaked in every single word. She was my mentor without her even knowing she was my mentor. So if you don't have the money to invest in that audio set, you can actually go to iTunes, and she's broken up her book into 6 and 8 minute free podcasts. So just search Rock Your Network Marketing Business on iTunes, and I think there's about 20 of them.
Awesome.
Another one was Richard Brooks does a hero call where he interviews a network marketer every week and then records them. And it's the same thing. You can listen. And as I heard story after story after story of network marketers, just like you guys heard my story tonight, of people who were doing it, every single story, I was like, well, they're out there doing it and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
So this must be legit. You know, they're out there and they quit their job. This must be a great profession. So the hero calls from Richard Brooke was another one. And then I invested in Mastermind, which is just a generic network marketing. Art Jonat puts it on. So when I went, I came home every year with a 6 CD set. There's like 5 discs in each thing. So it's like 20 discs. So those Mastermind, it was more just network marketing training and stories. But John Maxwell audios, Jim Rohn, huge. Let me think. Jim Rohn has one. Autumn, remind me and message me. I'm totally drawing a blank, but it's something about network marketing, and I can't think of the exact. But like I keep notebooks for every audio that I listen to. I have a whole notebook from Jim Rohn's audio that I listen to. So anything I could get my hands on, but you can just go to YouTube, Les Brown. If you did Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, you'd be busy for more. Simon Sinek, TED Talks, Mel Robbins. YouTube is unlimited for free audio. So anything I could get my hands on, I would just listen.
Perfect. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Well, you're awesome. Thank you so much for taking your time to come share with us.
You are so welcome.
You are the best. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Have a good night, Sarah.
Good night.
God bless.